Hello, my students. I hope you're doing well. So we just read chapters 11 and 12 of Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe. And I'm sure it was very thrilling for you. I'm sure you're wondering, when is the big thing going to happen? Something has to happen at some point. There's a bigger conflict. Don't worry, it's coming. Right now, we are getting the cultural experience. We're getting to know about this town and some of the cultural experiences that these people have. So in chapter 10, you'll remember that there was this interesting dance, that there was the evil forest person that came out in his mask, and we know that Okonkwo was one of the spirits that danced around, and just an interesting culture that happened in chapter 10. Remember this? So I'm wondering, what is the big idea with that? What does this say? What are some of the details that happened during that particular dance, and how is that significant? I have a lot of questions personally about why they had this dance. What does it say about their religion? What are the rules that are used? What are some of the patterns that we see? So lots of things about that chapter. And then yesterday you read chapter 11, where Okonkwo is in his compound at night with his wives, and Izinma is taken away by this woman, and she is the prophetess, or she's the prophetess for this god, and her name is Cielo. And so Cielo takes Izinma and takes her on her back and goes all the way to this other village. And then Izinma's mom is following her. Her name is Ekwefi. And she's just following her and trying to keep up. And Cielo is in this kind of interesting trance for the god Agbala. And why is this going on? Well, I bet you there's something that you could do with this that has to do with that. And then finally, in the last chapter that we read last night, in chapter 12, we see that there is Obierica, is this this man in the village, and he's about to give away a daughter, right? And so somebody has paid most of the bride price for this daughter, and so now there is this meeting, and everybody's coming, and Okonkwo's going, and his wives are going, and Zimna and Ekwefi, Ekwefi are very tired, so they're going to be a little late, and Okonkwo's very tired too. And really, there's just a lot about the cultural interesting things going on in this particular chapter. We learn about Obierica as he goes to get, this deal for his bride, or for his daughter. So what's going on with that? So these are all questions that we're having, and you're developing a thesis. You're developing a theory. A thesis is really just a theory that you are creating based on strong analysis of what's going on in the story. So how do we get that analysis? Well, that's what this is for. This is your analysis opportunity. So you're taking two of these. Okay, maybe that's the assignment for the literary analysis. You're taking two of these and you're creating a theory based on two of these. Okay, and so last night as you're reading, you're thinking to yourself, okay, so what are the ethical implications of this big idea that you've been tracking? Or what pattern do we see in all three of these chapters about the culture? And perhaps you're looking for that. And so that might be something that you're doing. What are the multiple perspectives? So now we have the perspective of this prophetess. We have this perspective of a man giving his bride away. We have the perspective of one of Okonkwo's wives as his daughter is taken away by a prophetess. And what is her perspective of this religious thing going on? Now, a lot of this is very religious, and it's okay to go after that and to analyze the religion in a lot of these ways. Look at the patterns, look at the rules, look at the trends of the religion, look at the multiple perspectives. How does it change over time? What are the big ideas? What are the grounding foundational principles of this particular religion? Those are things you can look at, okay? So these are questions you're asking right now. We're not even done with the book, but I want you thinking about what theory are you starting to come up with based on reading what's happened. Okay, now there's going to be more conflict that comes very soon, I promise. But for now, just understanding the culture at a deeper level will really help you as we get to that conflict. Okay, your homework today by 5 o'clock. I put onto Classroom a new Google slide, okay? And there's a bunch of slides on there. Just pick one, put your name, and then I want you to write down what right now is your theory, your thesis, or what is the question that you're pursuing, okay, for your theory or your thesis. What question are you having about these icons, okay, as you read? And then I want you to write down what one quote from the last 2 chapters, 11 and 12, one quote that you think this is speaking to my thinking. This is informing my thinking about this. Put down that quote. Don't make it long. Short is good. But then number 3, so there's a 1, 2, and 3. 1 is your theory right now, or your question. 2 is a quote. Make sure you have the page number. And 3, what is your thinking? What is your reasoning? What are you discovering, okay, that this quote is speaking to? It could just be you're having more questions, and that's fine. Then write that down. But I want you interacting in that way. And what you may find as you start to look at other people's is you start to see, and that's why I want not just yours, I want you to be able to see everybody's, not just yours. And feel free to look at other people's, okay? Don't write anything on theirs. But just look at it and start to see what are some other people doing. And I'll start to make comments here about what you're writing down. I may actually make a little text box and write it right there on your slide. But I just want you to continue to think. And then, of course, by 5 o'clock, you should also have read the next 2 chapters and annotated, looking for these same things. And you'll have something similar to do tomorrow, okay? Remember to love. Find somebody in your house to love. I know that seems like a lot, but as we get used to this, as you get used to working from home, I think this won't be quite as overwhelming as maybe it seems right now. Make sure you find your own space to work, okay? If it's nice outside tomorrow, especially, it's supposed to be in the 60s, and it's going to start raining afternoon. So maybe get outside and read a little bit, somewhere dry, and really try to enjoy as you're thinking through this process, okay? Have a great night.